Weege show, again, where it's quieter in a second. Look at this meeting of the minds here. Meeting of the minds. Those minds. Yes, Brian Deegan and Cooper Webb. Webb's not riding today. He's not part of press day, but he's out there with Brian Deegan scouting the racetrack. Welcome back for 250 East, and really just welcome back even for anybody, even 450 guys, because hey, we didn't have a race last weekend. We'll get into it with the Weege show brought to you by Honda and the CRF250R and CRF450R. I'll show you some clips from press day today, and then we'll get into the racing.
That's Jim Holly from the home of my house.
Yes, sir. So where are we after a couple weeks off for 250 East? First, I talked to a bunch of guys that were involved in that first turn melee and the winner of the previous race, Austin Forkner, about how they're feeling coming in. This is triage. We're going to follow up with everybody because we haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
First, Seth Hammaker, are you okay
I'm
from
good.
the first turn crash?
Yeah, honestly, from the first turn crash, I'm good. From my practice crash, I was just kind of...
I was a little worried about that one.
Yeah.
But you were all there?
That was good, yeah.
Yeah.
That was just a heavy one for sure. Like,
Dude,
and
it was.
Just to start the day off, like that was like, I don't know, third lap into the
Free practice,
so
yes.
And it was just, yeah, I just tried to scrub too much speed off of that double and just on me, so.
The first turn, what do you think happened? You got hit? You hit somebody? Do you even know?
Yeah, so like, Vial, I think it was like my front brake or my handlebar just kind of got caught in his jersey actually, and then
Really?
it ripped me down, and then
Dude.
that's when I was off the side of my bike, and that's why I just like shot over. So, but yeah, racing.
It's funny though, because see, everybody's like, this is the same style of first turn, but it's just one tiny thing. If your jersey, or if you don't hook his jersey, maybe none of that happens.
Yeah, I mean it's so tough because it's like. It doesn't happen like very often, and that's what everyone's been saying, like save first corner, and it's like it's not. It doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
All right, let's do some interviews here. So Nick Romano, you got one soupy under your belt. How was that at Detroit?
I mean, it was fun until it wasn't.
Yeah.
The whole day was good.
Yeah.
I was struggling a little bit. The nerves were high for me,
Yes.
but yeah, I kind of regrouped for the heat race, had a good heat race, and then yeah, I was honestly less nervous for the main than I was for the heat. Just kind of getting a gate drop, and yeah, I was excited, and then just got caught in that mess. So nothing I could do once I was down, but just get up and try my best, which is what I did. So yeah, it was up and down all day, but I had fun, man. Just being there, back at the races, my first Supercross, like. Man, it's been unreal.
So just getting that, even with the first turn crash out of the way, has to have helped a lot for this.
Yeah, no, like I feel even like for press day at Detroit, dude, I was nervous. Like I tucked the front in the sand, and like I was just a mess. But just being here, like I'm way more calm, and yeah, I'm just excited. We got some good testing under our belt, so I'm excited to see where we stack up.
Catching up with everybody after Detroit. You're good. I saw the airport you posted on Sunday. You're okay, Evan Ferry.
Yeah. Man, that interview was maybe a little rough, but
okay.
Yeah.
You looked fine.
Yeah. Honestly, I was fine within the next couple of days. So just took a little bit of time off, and then got back on the bike. Really, I would say this week, honestly, and then felt pretty good on Tuesday and Wednesday. So yeah, we're feeling pretty good now.
How much pressure on the line did you feel on that LCQ to get it in? I was like, this dude has to be very nervous right now.
Honestly, I feel like the pressure was more actually in the heat race.
Really?
Yeah, for whatever reason, like LCQ, it was more like I got on the gate and I was like, all right, I need to win this, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say almost more pressure on the heat race.
Wow.
Then I would say that the pressure kind of settled in like the last like couple of laps, I would say.
Yes.
On the LCQ for sure.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was like, oh, I'm ready to go. Let's
and how long did that last?
Last about here. Let me think. One.
Yeah. Let's map it out.
Three. That lasted about 3 seconds. 4 seconds.
Speaking of that, people are like, oh, it's the same style of first turn, but I was talking to Hammaker. It just takes 1 inch here and there of a guy bumping each other. It's not like a guarantee that the same thing's going to happen again. Are you worried about that?
Am I worried about doing the same thing? That I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. But,
no, it's all circumstances. You guys could have done 100 starts, and that might have happened 92 times. It might have got through. Yes. So you're not worried about this. You're not thinking about it again.
This one, it looks like there's a little bit more of like a place where I could just ride right up into the stands.
Oh, okay. That might be the plan.
Yeah,
that might be the escape hatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks more like we got a little double, and then we can ride right across the Oakley banner, and then
just go right up.
Right up into the stands.
Like Enduro Cross.
Yeah.
Like Enduro Cross. Last thing, now that you have one under your belt, you didn't get to ride as much as you probably wanted to with the head, but did you test? Did you improve? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, we definitely feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Made some adjustments suspension-wise, and I feel like we're definitely in a better place than we were in Detroit.
Okay. Maybe not even LCQ this time? Maybe not?
I hope not.
Yes.
I try not to. I'm gonna try not to be there. So. Yeah.
Okay. Don't want to be there or there.
No.
So the real media here question is, after one race on this bike and all that, are there improvements, are there gains, are there things you guys learned?
Yeah, I mean, we had 3 weeks to test, so it was nice. We did some changes we ain't gonna say in front of this team. So
you know what's funny?
Changes.
You know what's funny? I was literally standing by a Husky and you had white gear and I didn't even realize this wasn't your bike. So maybe I shouldn't talk to you.
So we made some testing, we made some gains. For the most part, similar, not similar.
Okay.
You guys have to figure that out yourself, but we made some gains.
It's a level up. It's a level up.
Yeah, we're making steady progress.
Okay. And this is actually your bike.
Yes.
So I have this right now?
I loaned him this bike.
Oh, you have to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Like, were you worried at any point you're like, dude, this could be really bad? Or did you know going in you'd be okay?
I mean, I knew I was going to be okay. I was just like kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm here by myself. First time in the stadium. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
all the people and stuff. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
gnarly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we made it through.
Okay. I mean, that's got to be all the goal is.
Yeah.
Just make it through. All right. Forkner, anything change after that?
After round one?
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
I tried to not let anything change.
Yes.
It kind of sucked because having 3 weeks off, I mean, I don't know, it depends on how you look at it. Because I went into the race being like, oh, dude, if I can win the first race and then just have 3 weeks to just like, that would be great. But
Yes.
it was almost like after that happened, I was kind of like, I don't want this because I don't want to get in like I came into the first race with like not even that I have something to prove, but just like I was in a certain mindset.
Yes.
And after I won, I didn't want that mindset to change.
Gotcha.
And to be like, okay, we got what we accomplished. We accomplished the goal. Which that was the first goal. It's not the end goal, but that was the first, obviously, goal is to win the first race, win a race. So I didn't want to kind of take that just and relax a little bit. I wanted to race the next weekend. I wanted to get straight back to it, so I couldn't be, I couldn't just almost be like content, which is so, it's hard because then I think like, man, I'm grateful because I know how quickly you can go from on top and winning races to not winning races for a year or for months or for a long time. You never know when your last race win's going to be, basically. So I want to be grateful for those, but then at the same time, I want to stay in just that hungry mindset of like, I want to win, I need to win,
I've said it to all you guys, this is the first time to you. You have the dream job, but when you have it, you can't really think of it that way. You have to always be like, no, I'm almost going to fail. I need to be better. You can never be satisfied, really.
Yeah, and it sucks. That's just what I was saying. It's like you. Obviously, you want to be happy. You want to enjoy things and you want to be happy. But also, sometimes certain guys, I've seen it in myself. Sometimes I mean, just this year, we've seen like Tomac. He's went like 10, 3, 9, 2. Like sometimes you have your best races after your worst race.
Yes, Austin Forkner getting to learn the lesson that I've told many riders that they all know but don't really know that they know, which is they have the dream job that everyone wants. They get paid good money to race dirt bikes. And Forkner told me when he got married in the off season that a lot of the guys at his wedding party were dudes that he grew up racing with. And he said, I'm the only one that's still going, still a racer. And it really gave him the perspective of he's pretty blessed in life to still be doing this. But at the same time, did you hear that? He can't think of it too much in that direction. Yo, what's up?
What's up?
What's up? Anything? Yes, we're on the Weege show. You're almost becoming like a weekly guest.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud.
I spot you out. I grab you. Like it's like, almost like I'm grabbing you. Like usually you're grabbing me.
It's organic. You're not trying. And honestly, you got your own thing now, right? You got your own vlog.
Yeah,
show.
Maddie does some like
she does her best at getting some content to like the fans, but she like comes here to do a job. Like she really feels that way, and like she's super like engaged and locked in, and she knows what she has to do to help me. So she just does everything that she can to give you guys like a little bit of in our life. I mean, we're not full vloggers, and she does social media as a job too. So like it's good.
So she knows how to do it.
Yeah, and it's good for both of us.
But for you, anything changed from a social media perspective after the last race?
Oh yeah. Got some new fans, maybe. I would think. Interesting, but
which had a bigger bump, Detroit or Atlanta in 21?
Atlanta 21.
That still was the bigger bump.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was like, I think if you're talking about social media recognition, I went from 70,000 to 160,000 in 2 days.
No way.
Yeah.
You like doubled.
Doubled. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're like, dude, I put it all out there for everybody.
Yeah, my
and
wife
still
and I
didn't
talk
double?
about it like I want to double my I want to get 10,000 new fans by passing for the win in the last turn, something sick, maybe throwing a whip, maybe hitting a quad like Stu.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's been something else.
Press is press, I
guess.
Press
is press. Everything else is okay? You're still banged up? Not that part. That part's okay.
That part's okay.
Other things?
Yeah, I'm struggling with some stuff, but we're dirt bike racers. We always kind of have a little bit of something here and there, right?
I appreciate you at least admitting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least Cameron McAdoo. Yeah, so he I know what you want to talk about from last time with McAdoo, with the pants breaking open and then other things hanging out. But the bigger issue for him now is that he did bang up his knee a little bit. He said he was able to do some riding between Detroit and here. And even the shoulder injury that he had in December is still not quite 100%, so he's banged up. But he said, you know what, I'm going to be transparent from now on, and I'm just going to tell you. So that was good that he mentioned that. And the other injury thing I think everyone wants to know about is Chase Sexton, who had the hand injury in Glendale. And I talked to him before, and he did a bunch of interviews for Press Day, and he said the problem is pulling in the clutch. And in a longer race where you got to keep pulling it in, especially in corners, that's where it really starts to hurt. He said it's like 80% now. It's not as good as he wanted it to be, but it is better than Glendale. He was able to do, kind of like McAdoo, some riding during the week. So we'll see how that affects him. Which all leads me in the 450 class to talk about how we're going to have to start looking at the results this year with a different prism, a different lens, a different perspective. If you go to the RacerX Online site, I'm proud of myself for coming up with this idea. We had a story this week where we took the top 20 450 riders and compared their results through 6 rounds last year and this year. And the distance between a good race and a bad race is startling this year. What was a bad night last year for top riders was a 5th. Now they're getting 9ths and 10ths. And there's obviously a couple factors. 2 mud races with a short sample size, 2 of 6 races being mudders. That's gonna mix up the results for sure. But you're dropping in more talent when you consider not only Jet Hunter Lawrence and Justin Cooper have dropped into the class, but don't forget Dylan Ferrandis barely raced last year. He was out with injury early. Now he's here from the get-go, and he's still here. These guys are all stealing points away from each other to a drastic degree. I think if you would ask Cooper Webb, are you better on the Yamaha and the KTM? He'd say, I'm faster, I'm better. But he's 20-some points off of what he scored at this point in the series last year. Chase Sexton, I think, is happier on the KTM than the Honda. He said that. He said there's room to grow, but he's already happy with the bike. Compared to where he was last year, he's 20 points or so worse than he was at this stage last year. And Eli Tomac is 39 points worse than last year. We'll talk about Tomac in a moment. And then the guys you think that got way better this year, Plessinger, Anderson, Roxon, they're slightly better. They're like 2 or 4 points better than they were after 6 rounds last year. What this means is everyone's stealing points from each other. You drop more talent in the ranks with the rookies and Ferrandis being good. And I think a very underrated part of all this, I don't want to interrupt this VIP tour back here for the building. I think an underrated part of this is we are in a strange year. Everyone wants to say all the riders are healthy. We didn't have a lot of injuries early in the year last year. That all happened in like Nashville at the end of the year. We've had healthy fields 6 rounds in. I think rarely do you get this many guys that feel this good on their bikes at once. Anderson likes his bike better. Plessinger likes his bike better. We already talked about Sexton and Webb. Ferrandis loves his Honda. The rookies have adapted quickly. I just want to point this out. This is actually the carpet. This is actually the carpet, so to speak. This is actually the grass for the stadium. They just roll it up on these giant things like paper towels, and then we got a concrete floor for events like this and everything else they have at AT&T Stadium. But that's the football field right there. Great camera work there. Anyway, because everybody happens to be good at the same time, Now, one mistake, look at Plessinger. He could have won last week. He tips over, he goes all the way back, and he can barely get a top 10. A guy that's fast enough to win a race in previous years in that situation could still come back and get a 5th. You can't do that this year. It is startling when we actually ran the numbers. It's not just hype. So check out the list on the website to see those exact numbers and see how crazy that actually is. And to that end, I think we have a couple other points that we can take out of that. So much talk about Tomac's terrible Detroit. I said he would be better at Glendale. He was better at Glendale, but he still didn't finish on the podium, and he got beat straight up by Jet down the stretch. And I think it's like panic button time. I think for a lot of people, I want to remind you that's still 4th friggin' place, which is still really good. So I wouldn't fret too much about that. The whole question here is, are we seeing all Tomac has, or is he still got a 5% gain to get as he comes back from injury? That's the real question. Title, because these guys can steal points from each other, the odds are better to come from 7th to 1st than they would be in a normal year, but that's still a lot to ask. But riding-wise, okay, it's nothing to be embarrassed. Just think of it this way. Would you rather have Tomac out here getting 4th or just not out here at all? Think of it that way. A couple other guys got to bounce back. Cooper Webb's a perfect example of this, wow, hashtag deep field. So you got Webb, who was maybe the fastest guy in Detroit, and then was not good at Glendale. And I think he could bounce right back because this track is much softer, much tackier than most people think. Back in the day when we raced this race at Irving in the old Cowboy Stadium, the dirt was rock hard. Now it's darn tacky and rutted, and that's Cooper Webb conditions. He won here that magical 2019 race where he ripped it away from Roxon at the end. He won the Triple Crown race here last year. So I would not count Webb out. Don't read too much into any one result for any one rider, and that includes last week. And finally, Jet Lawrence, kind of trend spotting here. We're trying to figure out, what one result, does it all mean anything? Does it all mean nothing? And like I'm saying, week to week, I don't think it means a lot. There is one thing I will point out though. In the preseason, Jet Lawrence said he wanted to take a page out of Tomac's 2023 playbook, which is if you don't win, and you just get a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th, just be okay with it. And I was like, man, that's scary because I think we know Jet's fast enough to win a lot. The question is he going to crash away a whole bunch of points? And if he really could do that, if he really could just take what the night gives him, 17 rounds, I was like, man, that's really going to improve his odds for the title. And I'm going to say that he wasn't doing that at the beginning of the year. He was getting way too emotional. He was trying way too hard. Getting mad at Anderson in a race where he came from a horrible start to get like decent points. You should be happy with that. He was letting the emotions get the best of him for sure. Glendale, he did not. Guys were roughing him up. He didn't let it get to him. He said to me that the track was difficult. He knew it'd be slippery as soon as I get out there, and he's like, I'm just going to take what I can get. And he took 3rd, and he was more than happy to do it. And that is what Jet said he was going to do at the beginning of the year. It wasn't what he was actually doing. But now I think he's turned that corner, and that is dangerous. He's got the points lead. I don't think anyone doubts the speed or the ability to win multiple races. The question is he going to throw it away at times? He's had a couple close calls out there, but if he can rein it in and just do what he did at Glendale, I honestly think that Glendale, way back, getting roughed up by Webb, dealing with Freezy in his heat race, and then coming back to get 3rd, I think that meant more for his title chances than winning Detroit with a whole shot the previous round. So a lot of the line there. The 250 class kind of know the score. We don't have too much data because of that first turn crash. You heard Forkner's situation. Even he is trying not to let it get too far into his head. Doesn't want to rest on his laurels and think that he has this just because he won that one, just for his own motivation. But let's be honest, a lot of the guys that were going to battle him were down in the first turn. So we'll see how that one turns out. We don't have much data, and that's what makes it fun. We have really close championships in the 450s, and this 250 thing, I almost feel like it's not even round 2. It's more like round 1B. It's a guy who knows how to handle when a camera's around. Finally, a shout out to Honda and the CRF450R and CRF250R for backing our show. Makes winning look easy, or in the case of Jet, 3rds look easy, or 5th for Hunter at the last race. And it reminds me that you cannot count out Chance Hymas, another guy not caught in the first turn crash, but he had a knee injury that aggravated him at the last round, but he was super fast most of the day. So Chance Hymas, watch for him in the CRF250R this weekend. So much to talk about coming into Dallas. It's so rad to not use this weekend off in the series as like false hype and pretending that things are crazy and close and they're going to be wild. This year it continues to actually bring that in reality. We don't need to fake it.